Hey, what's up, yo? I just ran across this guy, man. He calls himself uh zdoggmd. And what I find very interesting is when these so-called doctors, so-called government shield doctors, if you will, um come out with information with misinformation, they don't get banned. Only little channels like me and you get striped. You understand? It's crazy, man. I want you to listen to this guy. What he said. He's This is total programming, and it's crazy, man. I was reading the comment section. You got people thinking this motherfucker, but I'm gonna shut up now. I want you guys to listen to this shit.
The aborted fetal tissue in the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It seems like everybody's talking about that right now, including Catholic bishops. The Catholic Church is really big. There are a lot of members who have expressed concern directly to me. I don't want a vaccine that involves aborted fetal cells. So let's talk about what exactly is going on here and how you can think about it better. So the first thing you got to realize...
Stop. The programming starts right there. How you can think about it better. So right off the back, he's telling you how you're supposed to think, but he's gonna skip over that real quick because he thinks you're stupid. Let's move on.
In biomedical research, we often use these things called immortalized human cell.
Okay, who's we? So you're talking on the side of vaccines, or you're talking on the other side of vaccines? Let's move on.
Lines. What that means is you take a line of human cells and you allow them to replicate indefinitely. Effectively, they become immortal. They live forever. And they've been gotten from various different sources. There's actually documentaries on these. But recently, in terms of vaccine development in particular, and drugs that treat rheumatoid arthritis, cystic fibrosis, hemophilia, other drugs, they were developed, tested, manufactured using some of these immortalized cell lines that were originally derived from elective aborted fetuses from the Netherlands in the 70s and the 80s. So what...
Okay, so in the 70s and the 80s. So, okay. So Planned Parenthood that's running today is 2021. They're not using any fetal cells today? These are from the 70s and 80s? Okay, let's move on, man. This guy's this is amazing right here. I mean, these people think we're really stupid. I mean, people that come to my channel, you're gonna pick up on this right away. This is pretty crazy, but let's move on.
What happened was they took cell lines from, say, an 18-week electively, legally aborted fetus. Now, again, whatever your...
Legally aborted. So if it's legal, it's okay. Wow. I don't even know where to begin with this guy, but let's move on, man.
Opinion on the morality of abortion is, this is just the facts that are here. They took these cell lines and they allowed them to replicate in petri dishes generations and generations, thousands of generations out. Effectively, the sacrifice of this fetus is now immortal in terms of their cells. And those cells are standardized.
This fetus is not immortal. This fetus was killed, okay? You're telling me that you took some cells from them, live culture, and they claim not to put live culture inside vaccines, but they're putting live culture in vaccines. So you telling me that this fetus is immortal? Sounds like a bunch of double talk going on here, but let's keep going.
And predictable and stable, and so they're used in biomedical research whenever you need to do something that involves human cells. And with vaccines, the rubella vaccine, the chickenpox vaccine, the hepatitis vaccine, the shingles vaccine, they are developed and produced using some of these immortal cell lines as well. Now, one thing to remember is with those vaccines and with other drugs that are used, no cells from the original fetus, in other words, original aborted fetal cells, actually are in any of these medicines. Because remember, you took a few cells, you allowed them to replicate over...
My friend. Listen, y'all. If they're telling you they're putting fetus cell lines in vaccines, okay? it doesn't matter how many times they're replicating them. There's still fetus cell vaccines that you're putting inside there. So you're going to tell me just because it's not part of the original cell line, which I doubt very much because they're still aborting babies today, that it has nothing to do with the original product? Really? This guy is pissing me the fuck off. I'm trying to get through it. Sorry.
Thousands of generations and decades, and they're so removed from the original fetus that it's not like you're using actual aborted cells from the fetus. You're using the progeny of those cells, the children and children and children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren of those cells. And so people who say, well, vaccines contain aborted fetal tissue are just simply wrong. That's sort of a scare tactic they use. But
what are you talking? Okay, so he's telling you now that there are no fetal cells inside any vaccines, but he's telling you that they are from the 70s and 80s. Let's move on. So there is, but there isn't. It's sort of like a false positive, right?
But remember, they do come from originally these cell lines from that aborted fetus. So that being said, the Catholic Church has weighed in, the Vatican has weighed in on this in the past and has said, okay, we consider it not morally great to use aborted fetal tissue for anything. But in the case of vaccines, the benefit and the health and the positivity of the vaccine way outweighs the moral compromise of the source of the fetal tissue used in development. Okay? So
it's already proven that these fetal cells, let me explain something to you guys. These fetal cells that they're using inside these things, I don't want to say the word because they're probably going to strike me anyway. They've been causing cancer for a long time because what they do is they stay alive inside of you, actually, because they keep them alive. This disrupts your whole metabolism of your body, everything. Okay, your whole metabolic structure of your body is actually affected by this RNA and this extra DNA that they're putting. These are live cultures. It's actually living inside of you. And people wonder why they get these tumors. They wonder why they get this cancer. So giving people cancer is a low risk to stop a virus like a flu that is no death risk at all, unless you're 80, diabetes, heart attack, heart problems. Most kids, they're not going to die from the flu. Most people are not going to die from the measles. I never had them. All scare tactics, but let's move on.
Said that. Now, with the new coronavirus vaccines, here's the deal. The mRNA vaccines, the Pfizer, the Moderna, they do not use fetal cell lines, these immortalized cell lines, in their development or production. They have used them to test and see if the thing actually works. So
they tested them, but they never used them. Why would you test something if you're not going to use it, Doc? Oh my God, what an asshole.
That's like more on a research side, but not in the development and the production. So those you can...
So they're researching it, but not going to use it. Would you shut the fuck up?
Kind of fully removed from this conversation, and if you're very concerned, if you can get access to those, get access to those. But the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is very promising, single dose, emergency use approved by FDA now, doesn't need this high level of refrigeration and has really good response that seems to grow the longer out from the original.
Seems to grow your cancer out. Really good response. He's telling you straight up. And what I find very interesting is when you look at this here, you go on. There's some videos. You know who came up on this side right here on my wife's phone? Bill Gates. It's funny how these are all coinciding together. Bill Gates, Dr. Z-Dog, and there's an epidemic of this shit on YouTube of these doctors trying to get you to take this shit, man. Let's move on.
Injection, it uses adenovirus vector to inject DNA that codes for the spike protein, teaches your cells to make the coronavirus spike protein that you then mount an immune response to.
Which is a cancer.
Really an effective strategy that is developed and produced with the assistance of these cell lines. And so some U.S. bishops have said, well, this is morally compromised. Therefore, if you have a choice, you should choose the vaccines that don't use those strategies.
How about we don't take any of the bullshit at all? How about Catholic bishop, whoever the fuck you are, how about tell the truth and say, you know what, you actually don't need shit. Actually, everything comes out of earth, all medicine, and you actually protected no matter what. Don't need none of that crap.
But if you don't have a choice, they've said this, then you should take the vaccine that's available because that's the greater good. And this is my take on it. And so first of all, I want you to understand there's no...
This is my take. Listen to this shit, y'all. I want y'all to listen what he's about to say. Look at his stupid ass face. Looks like he's about to suck a big fat dick. He's a fucking fag anyway. Hold on, listen to this shit.
That's available because that's the greater good. And this is my take on it. And so first of all, I want you to understand there's no aborted fetal tissue in the vaccine.
Lying. This motherfucker lying and he know it. He looked away. Check it out again. This fucking liar.
Don't use those strategies. But if you don't have a choice, they've said this.
Look at how he's going to lie in your face.
Because that's the greater good. And this is my take on it. And so first of all, I want you to understand there's no aborted
Here we
fetal
go.
tissue in the vaccine themselves.
Wow.
So that disgust response that you would have, if that were true, I would have it as well.
You know, he never looked away from the camera one time, except for that time. This guy's a fucking trip, man. These are the fucking guys you gotta hang up, man. Hold up. Let's move it on. Hold on. Yeah.
You can take that away. But
no, so guys with
here you had the sacrifice of these fetuses in the past decades ago in the Netherlands.
I find it really strange that he's calling these fetuses so these are sacrifices for the benefit of good. I find it really creepy. I find it really strange. I found it really, really condescending how he's coming with this soft faggot voice and gonna tell you what you need to do. And that's not the only thing, man. I want y'all to look at this shit. I want you to look at some of these comments here. Yeah. Okay, this is my comment here. Not you, baby. I'm talking to my people. I thought the world was going. Well, no. Somebody gets it. Of course, the most common immortal cells are called cancer, and I totally agree with that. Look at this. How appropriate to use the word sacrifice frequently in this video. Human sacrifice for greater good. I'm grateful that there are alternatives. Some people get it. Listen what this woman says. Found the book Immortal Life of whatever lacks fascinating and sad. Immortal cell lines are absolutely renowned in science. So we should believe in that. I actually didn't know anything about the immortal cell lines being used for vaccines. It's pretty interesting. Have to do some research about that. Are you fucking stupid, you dumb bitch? It's still... I mean, he's calling these cells immortal. This is kind of sadistic in a way. This woman gets it. This guy doesn't get it. Thank you for putting this video out there. Thank you for this upload. I've been curious about this. If people don't see what's going on here, I give up. This person gets it. I'm Catholic and I don't know this. Thank you for the explaining. So you're Catholic and he explained it for you the right way. Shut your fucking mouth. You guys can take a look through the comment section. You'll get disgusted if you do. I mean, that's what we're here for. But let's move on.
Their cells are now immortal and they're giving a gift to all of humanity in a way that...
A gift called cancer. Thank you.
most of us would be lucky to be able to do. To use a biomedical product that was derived from that sacrifice, to me, honors the sacrifice. And I think that if I were making a decision, that would not factor into it for that reason, right? I would look at what's the available vaccine right now, because they're not all available, and are they effective and safe? And all of the options currently available now are.
Got you.
So share this with someone who's concerned. I know a lot of evangelicals, Catholics, and people who are very concerned about abortion have raised this issue and have sent me messages.
Okay, guys, I gotta go. My son just took a shit. I gotta help him out. I just want you guys to take a look at this and beware, because there's a lot of these doctors out there. And let's go over a couple of them on the next segment here, okay? Truth Dad, man, I'm out, y'all. Be good.